Okay, today I got some kind of fun for you. I was just cleaning up the truck, putting in some new floor mats. I got some of the WeatherTech ones I had to cut to fit, so I just put those in. And while I was in there, I'm like, I'll just kind of go over my kit because every once in a while I like to pull it out, make sure everything's charged up, that has batteries, things like that. So then I was like, well, since I got it out, I might as well go over it because I know a lot of people don't carry emergency kits or nothing like that. I always have. I said I grew up in the country, and you always kept things on you because you never know, especially you get stuck in a ditch out in the middle of nowhere. You're kind of on your own. Now with cell phones and things like that today, it's not quite the same, but I still kind of always like to carry a kit. So this is it's more of a basic one. Like I said, I'm not carrying tow chains or tow ropes or any of that kind of stuff these days, but still, these are the things I always carry. First thing is the good old set of jumper cables. I've always kept a set of jumper cables in every one of my cars. I've never gone without them. These I picked up, I think like 10 years ago at Sears. These are die-hard, solid copper. I think they were 6 gauge. I can't really remember. But these are big, beastly jumper cables. Like I said, I know a lot of people have like the little ones, but I like these because these can jump pretty much anything. Like I said, with solid copper, they do the transfer the electric power really well. And like I said, I think I had to jump. I think it was an F-250. I'm not positive. I can't really remember on that one, but it was a big truck. And so I was glad I had these big cables with me because we hooked them up. Just gave it a few minutes, transferred some power over, and then he cranked it over, and everything jumped up just fine. So like I said, you may not need like these big jumper cables so you got like a small car, but just having a nice set of jumper cables. And like I said, I know these are kind of going by the wayside now because everyone's going towards the battery ones, which I also have, but I like these just in case. Like I said, you get a big vehicle or you forget to charge your battery pack, you do something like that, or God forbid, the battery's bad, then you're kind of stuck. So, but like I said, I do keep one of these in here. This is just a NOCO Boost Plus. I've had this for, I don't know, 3 years now, 4 years. Again, it works great. I've used it a few times. Other people, especially like in parking lots, it's nice because then it's like you don't need to move cars around, don't need to do that. Just bring this over, plug it in, jump it, it's good to go. I usually charge it like before winter because that's usually when I use it more. And then like one time in summer, I just charge it like twice a year. But it's great. It works great. Like I said, I've not had an issue with it. And like I said, I know there's probably newer, better ones than this now, but it still works fine for me, so I keep using it. Another thing I always keep is an air compressor. Just one of those little ones you plug into your cigarette lighter. Or not cigarette lighter, 9-volt, 12-volt adapter. I mean, the ones like you plug in, I don't think anybody uses a cigarette lighter anymore. I keep the tire sealant in there just in case. I don't use it. I've always been told like this is not the best thing to use, but I kind of figure in an emergency, you throw it in there, and if it gets you by, and then if you got to replace the tire, you replace the tire. I mean, again, what's $300-400 versus like your life or anything else. So, I keep it in there just in case. You never know if you're going to need it, but it's always good to have the air compressor. I've used these a few times. Handy things, because God forbid you sit there and you help somebody with like a flat tire, and then you find out that their spare tire is flat too. So then, like I said, you're kind of screwed unless you got something you can pump it up full of air. So I always keep this. Another thing I always keep is a little first aid kit. This is just a little guy. It's a nice little packet. Again, it's old. I should probably check and see if everything's still in date in there. But I always keep a first aid kit because actually, as you can see, I got cut myself already and I didn't even realize it. So always good to have one of those. Another thing I always keep with, especially older vehicles, is a little sensor. I got this Autel here. It comes in handy because, like I said, you're out on the road. You get a check engine light or something come on. Like I said, you can pull over, check it out, see if it's anything major and anything not. Kind of so like what's going on, and if it's something minor, keep driving home before you fix it. If it's something major, then you know not to risk it. So I always like to keep this on it. I've used it a lot when like fixing the car, but like I said, I keep it on at all times with the manual. And like I said, I think it works great. It's a nice little tool. I mean, I know they got Bluetooth, phone ones, they got all sorts of stuff. But again, I don't like relying on my cell phone. So like I said, if my cell phone breaks or I drop it or I forget it, I have something always I can plug in, no batteries, no nothing. It works. And then I keep all this stuff in this little tool bag here. It's a little Craftsman one. Like I said, everything packs in just fine. I keep it in here, and then I zip it up and I put it in the bed. And that's it. Like I said, so that's what I keep in the back of the truck. And then inside the truck, I always keep a tape measure. And see, it's just a Craftsman 25 foot. These are great things to have. Like I said, again, you're doing a job or something, forget your tape measure. It's good to have one, or you're out, you want to measure something, you want to check if that piece of furniture by the side of the road is something you'll fit, or the door, or whatever. It always seems like you need a tape measure at some point. I keep a little multi-bit. I like these Pickwick ones quite a lot. Little just multi-bit screwdriver. They got Robertsons, flats, Torx. They got a little bit of everything in them. So I like them. Like I said, they're nice little guys, and you can use regular bits in them too. So I keep that in my glove box. I also keep one of these. This is not something a lot of people know about. It's off, and it's for if you get bit by an insect. This is something you can use on there to help relieve the itching and kind of put the swelling down. Now, I don't really use this myself, but my wife does. She's very susceptible to mosquitoes. They seem to love her, and we go on a hike or something. She gets bit. We get back to the car, just pop this thing open, put it on the bites, and it makes them a lot better pretty quickly. So it's another nice thing to have. Keep a flashlight. Again, all times, always have a flashlight in the car. This is a Coast. Again, it's old. I don't even know how old this thing is. But it's got, it's pretty bright little thing. This is like a weatherproof, crush proof. So it's like, shouldn't say weatherproof, but it's definitely like water resistant. Like I said, crush proof. You can run over it and it'll be fine. So nice durable flashlight. And then lastly, keep one of these little guys. Now, it's kind of a gimmick, I know, but still, it's like you never know when you need to smash a window or something, and it'd be good, hopefully it's something I'll never need to use, but especially when I used to commute a lot, you come across car accidents, things like that. You get some of the gnarly ones, and sometimes it may be necessary to bust out a window. Again, I hope nobody ever has to deal with that, but you want to make sure you have something on you that you can, knock out a window or cut a seatbelt or whatever. Again, probably not something you ever need to use, but, for a few bucks, it's good to have. Like I said, I'm sure there's plenty more stuff. A lot of times, especially when I'll keep like a shovel on me, dig something else out. Like I said, this is the wife's kit. I'm kind of doing more. We keep a lot more stuff in her car because we do a lot more longer road trips. So keep things like, I do more like these Harbor Freight lights. That's because they're kind of handy. And we got more tire stuff, everything. Again, I got this at Harbor Freight. This is a Harbor Freight jump starter, the Viking. Also, I've used it a few times. Works great. This actually is like a nice little kit. I'll just open it up and show you. So it's got the pack, the jumper cables. It's got stuff for like phone chargers, all sorts of things. So works great too. Like I said, I love these things. Again, I think this is something everyone should have in their car. It's easy, and like I said, it gets you out of a jam. It doesn't take up a lot of room. You can tuck it in a door, tuck it in whatever. But anyway, as you can see, for the main vehicle, we keep a much more extensive kit. For mine, it's a little smaller. Like I said, we don't drive the truck as much, but still, I think this is the kind of things that everybody should have, at least some of this of. At the minimum, I would say get a first aid kit and then a jump starter. And that's pretty much it. And then if you got a little extra room, again, maybe get like a air compressor, some of this other stuff, flashlight. Again, you don't need a lot, but definitely some things just to keep in mind. And I'm going to get this all packed up and throw it back in the truck. But, again, I'm sure there's many other things that you can add to these things, many other items if you want. But for me, this is kind of like what I like to carry. So that's it for today. Thanks. Bye.